Hi everyone, long time no see, or heard I guess. I am finally back, again, with another video after a much needed hiatus from nearly everything. You know how life can be. The movie I will be covering in today's video is a film that mixes good old traditional Norwegian folklore and a surprising trend in our current cinema. I am Torstein from CinemaTerror, and this is the 2022 Norwegian blockbuster film Troll. Before I get into the movie itself, I want to spend a few moments talking about how in the world a big monster movie could be created in Norway. Ours, and basically the rest of the Scandinavian cinema scene, are not exactly known for the big blockbuster type of movies, and the few times that does occur, it is usually done with an historical touch. For example in movies portraying life in our countries during World War II. A good example of this is another new Norwegian movie called Narvik, which I do highly recommend. This lack of push for big movies had a bit of a change a few years ago when the disaster movie The Wave performed exceptionally well, selling over 800,000 theater tickets in Norway alone. And to put that into perspective, our country has a population of nearly 5.5 million. The success of The Wave made room for more high-budget, by our standards, blockbuster type of movies, and other similar movies would soon come out, including the direct follow-up to The Wave with The Quake in 2018, The Tunnel in 2020, yeah, we're not that creative with movie titles, and lastly The Burning Sea in 2021. All four movies shared a similar type of build-up and atmosphere, with the focus spent equally between the disaster itself and the effect it has on the people. There's often a theme of mistrust between our heroic characters and the bureaucratic system, and the main character is usually someone who will do the right thing in order to save lives, no matter the personal cost or repercussions. And they usually have one or more loved ones directly involved with the disaster itself, just to make the stakes even higher. Well, I wouldn't say that all four movies are must-see movies or anything like that. I will say that I do think that especially The Wave and The Quake will be entertaining, even for non-Norwegians. And if those two work well, then of course the remaining two should also find themselves on their way to your watch list. Now, you might be wondering why I'm talking about disaster movies in a video about a big monster movie, but I do not think Troll would have existed without these doing so well in the first place. Troll is more or less the natural progression of the genre for us, and it shows in the movie as it plays with the same type of structure. If people, or more people, believed in large ancient troll creatures, then Troll will be looked at as a disaster movie, the same way as our other recent ones that I have mentioned. Even the director of Troll, Uthaug, is directly connected to the rise of the Norwegian disaster movies, as he was behind the camera on The Wave. He also did the 2018 remake of Tomb Raider over in Hollywood, an experience I'm sure was beneficial before taking on this task. Uthaug is also important for the Norwegian horror movie scene, as he was the one who did our biggest slasher film that would turn into a trilogy with Cold Prey, the first being released back in 2006. So with all of this new, hopefully not unwanted, knowledge about the current state of the Norwegian blockbuster cinema scene out of the way, let's talk about Troll. Norway is one of Europe's most mountainous countries, so to make transportation easier, we built a lot of tunnels, and that's where we start in Troll. A new tunnel is being built, which means blowing up a hole in a mountain. Unbeknownst to the authorities, an ancient, large troll is hibernating within this specific mountain, and the explosives being used are reawakening the creature, letting him free to cause havoc upon our kingdom. The government quickly gathers some of the best minds they have available, including the young paleontologist Nora Tidemann. She grew up exploring Norwegian nature and folklore with her somewhat eccentric father Tobias, who would start to lose his mind due to his obsession with a decades-long conspiracy theory about how the Norwegian government has covered up the existence of trolls. Since all attempts at destroying the creature with military forces has failed, Nora has to reach out to her estranged father and figure out a way to fight back against this mountain troll before either it or the military destroys the entire country. So we basically have a big troll on the loose, on its way to stomp the city of Oslo, and that's something I never thought I would see in a movie. And I think I felt a bit too excited for the troll to reach our main capital, But in my defense, how often do you get a chance to see a big monster stomping buildings in your capital? Well, unless you live in Japan, of course. While not sporting a similar type of budget as an American blockbuster, the troll and the destruction he left behind him was very well executed and satisfying. The troll looked like, well, what a troll should look like, and he has some personality to him, and he's not just a big creature looking to destroy us puny humans.
Good.
Troll is not filled with scenes of the big troll wreaking havoc though, as it naturally has to comply with its more limited production budget. So a lot of the screen time is filled with the least favorite aspect of any giant monster movie, the human characters. Thankfully, most of them are not that bad to spend time with in Troll. The main character Nora is serviceable as a protagonist, filled with energy and determination, although you will be likely to question some of her ideas and actions during the film, as it goes a few notches past logic after a while. Nora isn't left to herself to handle a crisis as she pleases, so the government teams her up with Andreas, the assistant of the Prime Minister. He becomes the funny sidekick of the film, and actor Falck does an excellent job of making us like him. He's not funny in an over-the-top comic relief cliché type of way, but always stays realistic as a human being, a funny and lovable human being. I'm sure he was just happy to get away from working with our politicians, as they however came off as the more standard type of unpleasant government people, who of course ended up going for a disastrous decision. In this case, actually considered nuking the troll and infect the city of Oslo with it. An insane subplot only introduced as a ticking bomb scenario, to put more pressure on our heroes. One of the politicians is so gung-ho about the idea of nuking this creature that it goes beyond common sense and becomes a bit ridiculous. I would have preferred it if all of the time was spent elsewhere, preferably by just watching the troll on his long walk to Oslo and all the fun situations he might have ended up with along the way. If they could even have him take a bit of a detour to destroy stuff in Sweden, then I'm sure I would watch this repeatedly for years to come. If that was impossible due to the budget restraints, then I would have enjoyed watching a longer prologue with a young Nora and her father on a longer adventure, which could also have served to tell more about the Norwegian troll mythology earlier on, before the creature itself awakens. That might have been especially beneficial to non-Norwegians who might stumble upon this film without any knowledge of the traditional mythology that us Norwegians have grown up about and heard since we were children. I would also have preferred it if the experts and officials could accept earlier on that this creature was in fact a troll. I mean, what else could it honestly be? It's a giant creature emerging from the mountains, it walks on 2 feet, has a big nose and a confused look on his face. He can't really hide anywhere, so they all get a good look at the big guy, and the fact that there is even a discussion of what this creature actually is, even after it's been roaming wild for a few days, quickly became baffling to me. One aspect that works against the clichés is the portrayal of the military guy Kristoffer, played by Pettersen. While he initially gives off the typical hardcore militant gun guy and looks like the Norwegian second cousin of Christian Bale, he turns out to be a much more well-rounded character than what I was expecting, and not just someone who was there to shoot at the big monster. They also avoided him becoming a potential love interest for Nora, which was a great choice. Not that they didn't have any chemistry together, but it would have been too cliché, cheap and unnecessary, so I'm glad they chose to not go down that path. Another creative choice that I enjoyed a lot was the addition of the hidden troll secrets of Norway that they managed to connect with a royal family. The backstory was actually able to make me feel for the giant troll, which was a nice touch and made the otherwise rushed ending still work. Troll follows the movie monster clichés pretty closely, and is not afraid to show off its influences, with the obvious inspirations being taken from movies such as Independence Day, King Kong, and a variety of Godzilla movies, actually including the 1999 American effort and all the way up until the most recent Japanese one, Shin Godzilla. The story structure and execution itself will not give you any surprises, but the freshness of a new type of big monster and a Norwegian setting should be a strong enough selling point for fans of these type of movies. I do wish that it would have been able to separate itself a bit more from mostly the American blockbusters, but I also have to recognize that a big project, by Norwegian standards, like this will have to try its best to also gain viewers outside from our own borders. In the end, I think that Troll is a solid, entertaining, and even family-friendly movie that follows a formulaic template. As I mentioned, there are several aspects of the film that I think could have been improved, but they are not necessarily dislikes that hinders me from overall enjoying the film, but rather elements that kept it from becoming great. Troll is available on Netflix in a lot of countries, so if you want to see a giant troll taking a lovely walk in Norwegian nature while scaring the locals, then check it out. I'm gonna give Troll a positive score of 3 out of 5. Have you seen Troll yet? What did you think of it? And do you also hope that there will be a sequel, just so we can have another movie out in the world called Troll 2? If it were up to me, I would make it into a prequel, where we could see the troll massacre of the ancient times. That would be fun. If you want to be exposed to more Norwegian trolls, then I do want to make you aware of a movie I can highly recommend, which is the 2010 Troll Hunter. That was it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. The best way to show it is to simply press the like button and subscribe, because that is the currency of YouTube. Have a great day wherever in the world you are, and I will see you next time for more movie talk here on CinemaTerror.